Hello and welcome everyone to yet another episode of this podcast, Upfront and Personal. Here is your host, Ananya, all set to become upfront and personal with each and every one of you listening. Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode, and I really hope that you like today's discussion. So, you guys, we are actually meeting and we are actually talking after about a week, I think. This is Tuesday, and I released an episode on last Wednesday. That was the interview with Falguni ma'am. Thank you so much for all the response and lovely messages that you all have sent me. Um, the thing is that I don't think since I started this podcast there has ever been a gap of a week in which I have not released a podcast, and it was mainly because I was in a very weird mindset. I didn't feel like creating. I had some personal and professional busyness. Also, my schedule was really hectic. Yes, I had a lot of work to do. My mother was not doing well, health wise, so I had to be with her as well. And I had some personal errands to run. But even irrespective of that, I think because of increasing numbers and everything, I was really in a weird mindset, and I didn't feel like speaking to anyone, and I didn't feel like creating. But that's okay. Sometimes you have one of those days, and in my case you have one of those weeks. So after that weird week has just gone by, and now I'm in a mindset where I can create something. I'm here again to the battlefield, creating yet another episode. So in this past week, when I was really feeling weird, I thought that I was procrastinating it. I anyways don't ever release an episode on the weekend, so Saturday, Sunday was fine. But when I didn't release it on Thursday, Friday, on Monday, even though I meant to release it, but I kept on procrastinating it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a bona fide procrastinator, and I sort of gave myself a leeway on that because I know that this is my nature to procrastinate, and I've never really felt too bad about it. When I was a child, though, when I was a kid, during my teenage years, I really used to feel bad that I was a procrastinator, and there was no way out of it. Like, I felt like no matter what I do, no matter how hardworking I am, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I'm a very hardworking and sincere person. I have a good, strong work ethic, but also at the back of it, I also have a procrastinator's mindset or a procrastinator's mentality. So somewhere or somehow, no matter how much I like my work and how much I'm working hard on, different fronts of my life, procrastination somehow creeps in. And I think when I came to my 20s, I sort of came to terms with me being a bona fide procrastinator, and I started to channelize my procrastination into something that's useful and beneficial for me, instead of that wrecking my life and me, feeling guilty about something that I cannot change. So that's why I thought, you know what? I have procrastinated for a week, and now I'm in a very good mindset to even talk about this habit of mine. And I know you guys, most of all you who are listening, you all are also very procrastinators. I know that most of us are. Some of us, tend to admit it. Some of us don't. Some of us really feel guilty about it, and list procrastination as one of their weaknesses. I used to do the same, as I said, but now I have, learned how to use it to my benefit. And I've realized in this process that actually having a procrastinator's mindset has, subconsciously and even without me realizing, it has helped me in so many fronts and places in my life. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that procrastination is an awesome thing to have. And if you, by God's grace, if you are, God's favorite, if you don't procrastinate, it's a bad thing and you should just come over to our side and start procrastinating. Nothing of that sort. If you don't procrastinate, if you, basically fulfill everything on your to-do list, आज करे तो अभी कर, कल करे तो आज कर, आज करे तो अभी कर, that proverb, if you live by that, that's great. If you don't know Hindi, it means that whatever you have to do tomorrow, do it today. Whatever you have to do today, do it now. If you live by that, that's completely great. I am just saying that I understand that procrastination has a lot of disadvantages. If you are a procrastinator, there is a huge chance that you will not get stuff done on time, or maybe you'll never get stuff done at all. You will miss the bus 1,000 times. You'll have lesser time and hence more pressure to do things. And it can go on, and we all see, and we have been taught to see procrastination is a bad thing, but it also has a lot of perks. Let me just list some down for you. First of them is, if you are a procrastinator or you have a procrastinator's mindset, I think with a procrastinator's mindset, you will be better equipped to know what is your priority and what is not your priority. So basically, if you have 10 things to do, and if you are a procrastinator, it means that you firmly believe in, or your lifestyle is like that you like to do things at later date, and you're okay with doing things at later date. Just because your to-do list have 10 things, it does not mean that all 10 things have to get done today. You figure it out. You're like, okay, these 5 things need to go today because they cannot be done tomorrow. But these other 5 things can be done tomorrow, and my life would not be hugely impacted by it. And hence, I'll do these 5 things tomorrow. I know if procrastination gets extremely evil and extremely harmful if you just don't do it ever. Even if tomorrow comes, you're like, I'll do it day after tomorrow, or you miss the deadline. I'm not saying that, but having a procrastinator's mindset, you can use it to your benefit by saying that, okay, these are things that need to go today. These are things that I need to focus on right now. And these are things that I can also do tomorrow, day after, or maybe in the next week. There are a lot of people who like to do things way before deadline, and that's a great quality. But sometimes, doing things way before deadline can hamper things for which the deadlines are right now. But because, people have this tendency of tackling their to-do list right at the same moment and getting all the things done at the same day without even looking at their to-do list and just taking a view as to what can be done tomorrow. Because, again, as I said, we all have been taught since our childhoods that, postponing things to tomorrow, postponing things to after is a wrong habit. So even if, without getting overwhelmed, if we can postpone things tomorrow, if you don't have a procrastinator's mindset, all of this comes with the guilt. But if you are a bona fide procrastinator like me, you will have no issue, no guilt, no regret in postponing things, and hence you will be able to have a much healthier relationship with your to-do list, and hence you will be able to prioritize and compartmentalize your life better. Second, you will be one of those people, if you are a procrastinator, who will be excellent at taking one day at a time or one thing at a time. What is procrastination in general, and what is procrastination, as a concept? It is that, what can be done tomorrow, it should not be done right now. Or what I can do later, that's okay, I'll do it later. It gets messy, and I understand it. It has all the possibilities to get even messier. But, there have been a lot of times when I have had really overwhelming weeks or really overwhelming days where I have had exams and I have had so much chaos. But because I have such a procrastinator's mindset, I think of today instead of thinking of tomorrow and day after and, what's going to happen. For example, if I have 5 exams and my last exam is really tough, and I know that I don't have much time to study for it, like I have like 1 day gap or something, but the other 4 exams are fairly something under my control and I can control them, then I will focus all my energy in studying for them right now instead of worrying for something that's going to come later on. If you have a procrastinator's mindset, you will be able to compartmentalize your life in a way so that you don't get overwhelmed by things that you have to possibly do in the future, in the coming week or in the coming days. You will be able to focus very, very poignantly on today's task. And hence you will be able to take one day at a time or one thing at a time. It also depends on not only, your to-do list or the things that you have to take care of, but it also applies to emotions. Sometimes when our mental health is going through a tough time, or when, we are going through a personal loss or a financial loss or something like that, when we are not really feeling happy, having a procrastinator's mindset will help us get through one day at a time. If you have seen Friends, which I really hope if you have, because I think I give a lot of Friends reference in this podcast. Remember when Chandler was really, really psyched before getting married? He didn't want to get married. And Ross was like, you don't have to get married. You come home and take a shower. That was not difficult, right? You go and put on a tux. That's not difficult, right? Now you go get married. So it was one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. And I think having a procrastinator's mindset will help you achieve that. Use that to your benefit. Third, procrastinators are really good at not rushing and waiting for things. You know, procrastinators are often labeled as somebody who is lazy, somebody who does not have a very proactive attitude in life. But sometimes, actually, guys, it's good being lazy. It's good having not a proactive attitude in life. Sometimes it's actually important and it's actually the need of the hour for you to wait for things to happen or for you to wait things out. There are a lot of times when you can harm yourself and actually can get really, really pretty bad results because you were rushing things. For example, if you have to make a big purchase, if you are someone who does not like procrastinating, and you feel like, okay, I have to order this thing in 2 days, I will order this thing today. And you go and instead of, waiting for, better sales to come up, waiting for, going through various models and taking that kind of pain, you feel like, no, this has to get done today, this has to get checked out of my to-do list today. You would not wait for it and you would just go and buy that thing. And then later on, when better sales or better offers or better models will come up, you'll regret it because you have already made your purchase. But if you would have had a procrastinator's mindset, and if you would have taken the pain or taken the understanding to use that procrastinator's mindset to wait for things, to be like, okay, let's just see, I don't do anything just like that. Just as soon as a problem, presents itself or a demand presents itself, I do not rush to find its solution. I wait for it. I'm like, okay, what is it about? What does it require? Can it be done tomorrow? Okay, let's just take some time with it. And hence you wait. And sometimes waiting is good. You know the don't rush challenge that's happening on Instagram right now? We procrastinators created it because we don't rush on anything. I think it has helped me a lot of times, especially, when I was making purchases or when I was, trying to apply to colleges, or I was after school when I was looking at different options. I think it was very good for me to just wait and not, jump into the first thing that presented itself. I took a gap year because I was a procrastinator, because I didn't really feel like, I have, it has been 1 month since I have, finished my school and I have to join a college. Because I was sort of a procrastinator in my mind, I channelized my procrastinator's mindset to my benefit. And I waited for actually a good college or a good thing to happen for me. And when I went to the law school that I went to, I don't regret it. And I'm completely happy with the choice. Why am I happy with the choice? Because I'm a goddamn procrastinator. Number 5 is that procrastinators are better at planning. I think the fourth and fifth point are sort of related, but because I needed more points and I wanted to tell you that I have done a lot of research, I divided it into 2 points. I think the fifth point is the corollary. Because we wait so much, we also don't really shy away from planning things out. Making good plans, making effective plans, doing a proper planning and backing your actions with some thoughts and with some research takes time, takes effort, and hence it takes some patience. I think procrastinators have a lot of patience. It can be termed as laziness and inactiveness, but it's actually, patience. You can use your procrastinator's mindset to actually plan things out, give yourself time, see, okay, this problem is there. What is its solution? What all I can do? If you are a procrastination, you don't really want everything to happen just right now. You'll be like, okay, I'll take my time, I'll plan this out, I'll see this thing through, and then I'll take in action whenever it has to be taken. And hence, as a procrastinator, you'll be able to plan better than people who just want to do things right now, just as soon as an emergency or a problem presents itself. Sixth, I think nothing helps when you are a procrastinator, nothing helps better than knowing that you're a procrastinator. It helps you, take into account your procrastination, and hence you develop a concept of taking into account things that come naturally to you. Am I confusing this way too much for you? Let me just simplify. So basically, I'm a procrastinator, right? And when in the night I'm thinking that, okay, it's the morning routine tomorrow. What all I have to do, I have to get up, I have to take a shower, I have to have a breakfast, I have to get dressed up, when I didn't work from home. And I have to, make sure that my bag is okay, my shoes are okay, and then I have to go, and then I have to take my public transport, and then that's my routine. But, I know that I'm a procrastinator and I'm not really unhappy with it. I have come to terms with it. So I don't have these unrealistic expectations in my mind that if I have set an alarm of 7 o'clock, I will wake up at 7 o'clock. Because I'm a procrastinator and I'm not really crazy mad about it, I do set up a lot of other alarms and I do, account that, listen, I know that tomorrow I am not going to wake up as a deformed person. I know I will be procrastinating tomorrow morning as well. So let's just set an alarm for 7:30 and 7:15 as well. It also helps if you're not unhappy with you being a procrastinator. If you're not unhappy with it, you will not set an alarm of 7, 7:1, 7:2, 7:3, 7:4 and 7:5 and hence make your morning a nightmare. If you are a procrastinator and you're fine with it, you will just put 2, 3 alarms spaced out because you don't really care if you wake up at 7 or 7:30. There are some things that are extremely important in your morning that you can tend to if you didn't procrastinate. And there are some things that are extremely not very important and they are something, that you can do later on. That, for example, working out. If you are someone who loves to work out in the morning, you will make way for it, like you will make time for it. But if you are someone who doesn't really care, who works out in the evening or who doesn't really care about working out every single morning, working out is something that you can check out of your routine very comfortably. So you will make room for that in your routine accordingly. So because you are a procrastinator and you know that you will take into account all those little rooms of delay that are definitely going to happen because of the kind of person you are. And also, while you are on this journey of taking into account procrastination, you will feel like, wait a minute, I'm a procrastinator and I have accepted it and hence I'm making room for that. But I'm also a lot of other things. Let me just make room for that. And hence you will go into this path of exploring yourself. And you'll be like, okay, I also really like to dress up. So maybe I need 5 minutes of choosing my outfit. Let's just take into account that. I'm really someone who likes to have a quick shower. So I don't really have to account for like a really long shower. I'm someone who is in and out in 5 minutes. So that's okay. I'll account in like 5 minutes. And hence your routine would be subjective and not something that you have seen on YouTube or on TV or a routine that, resembles your parents or your friends or your family members. It would be a routine especially cut and designed just for you because you know yourself better than anyone else. And hence, procrastination would help you in making your routine subjective. And the 7th one, negotiating timelines. We procrastinators know that it's not really going to happen that if you give me a timeline, I will be able to stick to it. And I honestly prefer if timelines are flexible. So if somebody gives you a timeline, you will be someone who raises his or her hand and who takes an initiative of even negotiating timeline. Now, if timeline is not negotiable, then that's okay, You'll be like, fine, it's not negotiable, I'll work accordingly. But sometimes, we want to be such teacher's pet, or we want to be, we have this crazy version of ourselves in which we think that we are super punctual, even if we are not. And we feel like we will kill ourselves onto it. We will make sure that our personal life goes into flames, but we will figure this out and we will finish this task and we will not procrastinate. But if you are a procrastinator and you're okay with it, you will not shy away in negotiating timelines. Yes, if it doesn't get negotiated, then that's the timeline that you have. But what if it does? It at least gives you the courage and guts to go up in front of your superior or anybody who is giving you a timeline and negotiate it and, look beyond what people tell you. I think that's a beautiful thing. And 8th thing, which I think is amazing, is that procrastinators are amazing in dealing with pressure, are amazing in finishing last minute things. Because we procrastinate a lot, as I said before, we get less time to do things and till the last time we do things. But because we have this kind of tendency to do it and, working under pressure and working till the last minute to submit things, yes, it can go wrong. But because we do it so very often, we are okay with it and we are sort of, fine with it. So whenever, without planning, something comes up and we have to work under pressure without we even procrastinating it. if some situation presents itself in which we have to work under pressure, people who are not used to it would fail. But procrastinators like us, we would be okay with it, and we would work immensely well under pressure because, you know, that's not pressure, that's a lifestyle. And the last thing which I think is amazing is that, which has helped me immensely, that if I would not have been a procrastinator, I would not have procrastinated for this entire week to make this podcast, and hence realize that I am procrastinating, and hence would have had the subject and title and topic of this video or of this podcast. So, being a procrastinator has given me a podcast to make, and I think it's a beautiful thing. A thing that I thought was a flaw in me, a thing that I thought was lacking, now at the age of 25, I am monetizing it very, very shamelessly. So yes, guys, these were the reasons why I'm okay with being a procrastinator, and I actually like being a procrastinator, and that these are the reasons in which I have channelized and used my procrastinator's mindset to be completely fine with the goals that I have to achieve, the life that I want to live, and also now being a procrastinator does not really hinder my journey, and it actually motivates me to feel better about myself and even work better in a lot of very strenuous situations. I hope you like this one, you guys. If you agree or disagree with anything said in this episode or in the earlier episodes, please do not forget to write to me to my Instagram. My Instagram is Ananya2893, ANANYA2893, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.